Welcome back to Do You Get Downtown? We're still at the Crew Club in our beautiful downtown baseball stadium, the Chuck, and we're here with the new CEO, president of the Downtown Fresno Partnership, just fresh from Georgia, Aaron Blair. Welcome to Fresno, Aaron.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. So, first impressions. I mean, you came across country, so you got to see all of the different downtowns, probably along the way too. So, how do you feel about Fresno's downtown? Just first impressions.
Yeah, I think you guys mentioned earlier in the broadcast talking about, there's some construction going on, and especially when you see the residential construction. I mean, there's life here, and you can sense that when first arriving here that there's some things going on, and especially there's some excitement, and most of the people that I've spoken to about Fresno's downtown is very positive. So that's critical in my opinion. I did get to travel across country driving here with my family to move, and we did see multiple different types of downtowns. And Fresno's got a great downtown, so I think we're in a great spot.
You can feel the momentum a little bit now.
Yeah.
Even though we know there's a lot of big stuff to come in the next few years, it's definitely there's more electricity in the air over the last couple of years, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, you can feel it when we're out, just being here and hanging out at some of the restaurants, whether I'm at Peeves or Sequoia, and just talking to people about downtown and just listening to other people, eavesdropping really,
right.
Other people's conversations about downtown. They're very positive about it, and you can sense that people really do want to return to the core and populate even our great neighborhoods.
Well, one of the things I thought was great that I think is an important component for any downtown is that you have experience in really design, from architecture to good urban form and those kinds of things. So tell us a little bit about that part of your history.
Yeah, I mean, early on I attended Ohio State in architecture school. I always wanted to be an architect and be able to design these iconic buildings. And but after taking a class in urban design, I kind of got this feeling that I can really affect change in a whole city more so than just one individual project. But early on in my career, I just was involved in a lot of architectural code writing, urban design plans, redevelopment plans. About 2 years in my career, I got to work with Andres Dewani, which is a godfather of new urbanism in Naples, Florida. So that was a unique experience to be able to learn from someone like that has kind of set the standard, at least on the East Coast, for urban design.
Oh yeah, well he's known worldwide, so that's really fun to be able to get a start and get such a great foundation of knowledge.
Yeah, it's been a great opportunity, and it's actually worked for me in my favor in almost every position that I've been in, just because I've been able to go in and assess the codes and rewrite architectural code, or look at site plans for different developments and be able to help steer developers in a better direction to help us relate in our urban forms. So,
that's great.
Yeah,
and that's a big part of it, And I always think of like the symphony, having the good planning and the good design and all of that, but then you've also had the other experience where you have to work with people, small business owners and people in local government and all of that, because that's just as important if the design never gets implemented.
Yeah, I've been able to work in the nonprofit side from a redevelopment authority to also being a city government redevelopment manager at the same time, and they're very different on what type of things you have to deal with and the red tape and where politics come into play. So at least it gives me a broad perspective of when I'm dealing with this side, at least that maybe you have to flow like this, and this side you might as well just go right through.
Right.
But coming from Albany, where politics is huge. Every decision's made by politics. So, you learn how to deal in that arena, and I think that's broadened my perspective on, ability of what to do. So,
yeah, getting people to move toward the direction of revitalization, especially at the early stages, can be a trick, because you're having to sell something that they haven't seen yet.
That's right. Yeah, and that's always the challenge, and being part of downtown redevelopment. But I wouldn't want to do anything else. There's also a sense of excitement around doing that. Rallying people and getting people around the common vision. But those things are exciting to me and exciting to my family. So I'm sure most people will get to know my family, my kids, because I make them work hard too and participate in everything. But they enjoy it, so it's it's good.
We'll see them at the ice rink this winter.
Yeah,
Good.
of course.
All right.
Yep.
That's great. Well, yeah, and the comparison to me is always like a startup company where everyone's in the garage and they're eating stale pizza and all of those kinds of things, but they're working toward that common goal.
That's right.
And then so often you see those entrepreneurs, they want to go back and do a startup because they love that feeling. And to me, that's how revitalization is.
Yeah, it is.
Once you do it, you don't want to do anything else.
Yeah, you don't want to do anything else. It's not as fun to go into a situation it's done.
Already mellow.
You don't want to go
got
into
everything figured out.
Right. It's not as fun. The whole part of working with all the different types of people. Some are rough around the edges, some are real conservative on this side, and just working with all those people and figuring out how to mesh all that together for success is, that's all the fun.
Well, thanks. Welcome
Thank
aboard.
you.
Yeah, welcome aboard, Aaron. We're glad to have you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
So up next, we're going to have Ryan Young from the Grizzlies to chat with us about some of the really cool stuff that's been happening right here in this ballpark. So stick around.
Do you get downtown?